My husband and I are from the city, but trips to the countryside are a hobby we share. Mostly in the fall. The forest is especially beautiful in autumn, and it is more interesting to walk, mushrooms, berries. They say you have to communicate with nature. Ask permission to enter, give thanks for gifts, avoid bad thoughts. I've always stuck to this, but on this day I had a big fight with my husband. We were going on a trip and he and his friends were out. I got mad at him and went out by myself. The place was familiar, we had been there 100 times. Too bad I wasted time. We were going to go in the morning, and it was already lunchtime, and there were still a few more train stops to go and then on foot. With these thoughts in terrible annoyance, I went out to the station, walked a few kilometers along the road and went into the woods. My thoughts were occupied with the conflict, so the usual ritual of greeting did not follow. I picked mushrooms without the previous excitement. In general, I was just thinking. I was taken out of my thoughts by the crackling of branches somewhere nearby. A huge brown animal appeared, ran through the spruce forest and disappeared from sight. A chilling thought flashed through my mind: moose. Moose are quite dangerous during the rut, and a meeting with them does not bode well. While I was thinking where to go and what to do, the crackling of twigs repeated. Something huge was hurtling at high speed in my direction. My instinct gave me the command to run. I ran like I'd never run before, not seeing the road. Out of breath, I had to stop. The pursuit stopped, and it was quiet. When I looked around, I realized I was lost. I had left my basket a long time ago, and it was good that my phone hadn't fallen out. It was getting close to evening, and I still could not find my way out of the forest. I was very much afraid I would run into a moose again. The quarrel with my husband seemed like a small nuisance to me. Something small darted right under my feet. I jumped up in surprise. I saw the most common cat under my feet. It was circling around my feet and purring. Where had he come from? Groomed, shiny fur. The cat, meanwhile, meowed and ran forward, and I followed him, hoping that he was from the nearest village and knew the way home. It quickly became dark. The fluffy tail of the guide flashed ahead. I was afraid to lag behind, but it was as if he was waiting and didn't run far. He wasn't so scary, and I was sure we would make it. The trees thinned and we stepped onto the road. There was no limit to our happiness. At that moment we heard the sound of a car approaching and the headlights illuminated the road. The driver stopped. As it turned out, there were no settlements nearby. All the while, the cat was dangling at my feet. Neither the noise of the car nor the headlights frightened him, but as soon as I reached out to take him with me, he jumped up a few steps, though before he calmly let himself be petted. I stepped closer, called out to him, and he meowed, turned around, and walked back into the woods. I followed him, not wanting to leave my savior alone in the woods. The driver came out to help. At some point, the cat just disappeared from sight. Nothing to do, we got in the car and drove off. We got home late at night. At the door, I met my husband, who had already gathered a whole search party from his companions. We apologized to each other. I started to tell my husband the story of my rescue, and I wanted to show him the picture of the cat, but it was empty. Not that the photo didn't turn out, the cat just wasn't there, even though I photographed it point blank. The forest, the bushes, even the bumps on the ground could be seen, but the cat was gone. Then we went to those places many times. We couldn't find the cat.